A very great good evening, namaskar to one and all. I am Shefali. On behalf of Women with Wings, welcome all our prestigious panelists and audience for the evening. First of all, let me walk you through Women with Wings. It is a platform which works extensively for women empowerment, motivation, and spreading the concept of women collaboration instead of competition. A lot of women have come forward and are standing united. We do weekly sessions to spread our message. We have our bi-monthly Vow Sutra, which speaks about the story of a common woman, our daily positive vibes, our morning mantras. And now, Women with Wings stands strong with women who have lost something in COVID, whether a family member or work loss or emotional loss or fitness. Anything you ask for, and our team is standing with you. Today, we are proudly and happily announcing the launch of our South chapter. We are growing and together we are making a huge, huge difference. Coming to today's concept for which we are here, very apt and a very demanding topic, I should say. Can you guess? Any guesses that what's the topic for the day? Yes, you get it right. That is resilience. So I was going through a very common quote by Elizabeth Edwards. Resilience is accepting your new reality, even if it's good, even if it's less good than you had the one you had before. You can fight it, you can do nothing, but scream about you what you have lost. Or you can accept that and try to put together something that's good. And I think somehow a Woman with Wings is trying to do the same thing. So welcome all to today's session, Resilient Women in Current Times. And for this, we have our Flight Lieutenant Sonali who will be moderating today's conference. Our Flight Lieutenant Sonali is wearing multi-hats. I will talk about very peculiar things about her. Being an aeronautical engineer, being a flight lieutenant, Sonali is a very humble person. She is secretary to Young Entrepreneurs Network, a writer, a radio jockey, a dancer, yes, and a social worker. And still she is so down to earth and a very, very polite person. We are glad to say that she is contributing towards Women with Wings to spread the message across. Thank you, Sonali, for being with us and supporting Women with Wings strong. And over to you. I think, Sonali, you are having some technical glitch. Am I audible to rest of the people? Okay, just give us a moment. Sonali will be right back.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. Thank you so much, Shefali. And I think all these characteristics you too have, being polite and humble, and I've learned it from you too. And very caring and sharing. Thank you so much. Sorry for a little bit of trouble because I think there was some internet issue. Very good evening to all of you and who all are here to witness this event today. And we are kicking off the
I think some technical glitch we are facing, and till the time Sonali joins us back,
yes.
let me just. Are you back?
Audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Today we have very two eminent speakers with us, Professor Anita and Miss C. Kavita Sharma. I would like to welcome them first. Yes. A very warm welcome to both our eminent speakers. First,
Thank
to
you.
start off the event, I would like to mention very few things about them. Actually, the profile is so vast. As I read it, you guys need to hold your breath. So I start with Professor R. Anita ji. Welcome, ma'am.
Welcome, ma'am.
Professor R. Anita is presently Professor, Dean Academics and Director, PG Admissions and Department of Business Management, St. Joseph's Degree and PG College, Hyderabad. She has 21 years of teaching experience, including industry experience. Her areas of expertise include HRM, operations management, and quantitative techniques for decision making. She is doctorate in human resource management from Osmania University. completed Bachelor of Engineering in 1994 and Masters in Business Administration from Osmania University in 1996. She has qualified in AP and TSET. She was awarded the Best Teacher of the Year 2011-2012 and the Best Management Faculty for the year 2012-2013 by St. Joseph's Degree and PG College. She was awarded as Best Faculty Award for HRM in Ambitious Award Function for Education Excellence 2020 by Ambitious Organization. She was appointed as editorial board member of International Journal of Academy and Industry Research, South Spring Village, Candelaria, Quezon, Philippines on 1st January 2021. Professor R. Anita has been honored with Best Faculty Award for the Academic Excellence for the academic year 2020 and 21 by Vivekanand College of Arts and Science for Women, Tamil Nadu. And now, hold your breath, everyone. Till date, she has organized 20 seminars, workshops, conferences, and participated in 69 international national seminars, presented 41 papers in various international and national seminars, and published 48 papers in various national international journals and chapters in books. She co-authored 2 conference proceedings conducted by St. Joseph's Degree and PG College. She served as a resource person for training teachers, faculty, and students. A very warm welcome, Anita ma'am.
Thank you, Sonali ma'am. Thank you.
I don't know, it's like reading itself is breathtaking. I don't know how you've done it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes. Next, a warm welcome to Kavita ma'am, and I would just like to give her a brief intro. Ms. Kavita C. Sharma ji, she is a postgraduate in Industrial Relations and Personal Management from Andhra University. Apart from this, she is a certified CII Exim Business Excellence Assessor, certified in Thomas Profiling, Secretary of the Internal Complaints Committee. She has a very vast experience of 31 years. 27 and a half years, she was handling hardcore HR, talent acquisition, compensation and benefits administration, rewards and recognition management, L&D, employee health and safety management, discipline management, conducting domestic inquiries, compliance administration, POSH, internal controls, CSR, etc. Introducing HR initiatives for business excellence, PCMM certification, employee engagement, competency enhancement, etc. Internal trainer for soft skills, last 3.5 years handling L&D. From October 1990 to June 91, she was a research associate with the Management Consulting Division of Messrs. SB Billimoria and Company. Since July 1991 till date, that's almost 3 decades now, she is working with Messrs. BEL, that is Bharat Electronics Limited, a Government of India enterprise. Bharat Electronics Limited is an Indian state-owned aerospace and defense company with about 9 factories and several regional offices in India. It is owned by the Government of India and primarily manufactures advanced electronic products for the Indian Armed Forces. It is a Navratna company under Ministry of Defense Production. She has worked in multiple locations of the company. And apart from this, she is General Secretary of the Southern Regional Chapter of the Forum of Women in Public Sector. Her hobbies include gardening, listening to old Hindi music, and I believe also giving us a lot of knowledge and sharing her experience.
Thank you.
So I think this is simply exhilarating because I almost tested my lung capacity while reading this, because I don't know, just reading took my breath away. So how you people have been so excellent in this field, and it's absolute honor to have both of you over here as speakers.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Once again, welcome ma'am, welcome Anita ma'am, welcome Kavita ma'am. Today, as we all know, the topic is resilient women of the current times. So when we say resilient, it's like coming back or facing the tough situations and standing back again, so that you come up as a very strong person. So one of the quotes which I can say is, I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it. This was said by Maya Angelou. And resilience, as we say, is very, very necessary if you want to grow, if you want to be successful. in India or abroad, when we say and when we take different names, be it Kiran Bediji or Sudha Chandranji, we all know that she lost her leg in a mishap and then she became a dancer. Arunima Sinha, who became a mountaineer in spite of facing an accident. And there are many, many names, Kalpana Chawla or Bachindra Pal. There are so many women out there who have fought odd situations and they have been very, very successful. So I would like to start with Anita ma'am, and there is a question for you, like, what does resilience actually mean to you? And do you think that the problems faced by women in earlier times with respect to resilience were difficult or challenging than today? How would you like
Yes.
to say? What
Thank
would
you,
you like to say?
Sonali ma'am, for the question. Yeah. For me, resilience is how we are going to come back to normal after we face a disappointment or a defeat or failure or a stress or a suffering. That instead of letting down, yes, we move forward, we get up and move forward. And especially when, if you take in today's scenario, pandemic situation, it's so uncertain and unpredictable, and we need to be more resilient in order to handle such situations. Being resilient does not mean that people don't experience stress or emotional upheaval and suffering, but they do experience it. But how they get back to normal is very important. No, our students, when I no, keep teaching them, when they don't come to the class, I ask them, what happened, ma? Ma'am, my grandfather was not well all these days, and then he was hospitalized. We got him home, but after 2 or 3 days, no, he experienced a heart attack and then he expired. So, such type of experiences that we are having, especially from the teaching side, where I know interact with so many students, when I hear from them, but I also see a positivity in them, the way they are coming back to normal in spite of so many situations that they are facing. So some people equate this resilience with mental toughness, but for me, it is demonstrating resilience, which includes working throughout the emotional pain and suffering that we have. As Winston Churchill said that success consists of going from failure to failure, but without loss of enthusiasm. And this is what I feel what resilience is for me. But as you said about the women you are talking about, whether earlier days they were more resilient and then whether right now the present women are more resilient. No, I feel there's nothing we cannot compare the women of earlier and now. According to that situation, they were more resilient. Actually, no, to tell they tell that man is the head of the family, but I feel women is the head because she manages everyone, right? She keeps all her sorrows and everything with her, and then the way she wants to bounce back, yes, and then she supports the family so much with her resilience. So this is what I can tell about resilience from my side, and then over to Kavita ma'am, what she feels about resilience.
Yes. So, Nali, you'd like to say something?
No, I think from educational sector point of view, Anita ma'am has said very well, very nicely. So if you would also like to say something about the same topic or same question.
Yeah. So, like Anita's ma'am said, resilience to me is all about the ability of an individual to spring back after and be happy and successful after undergoing a trauma, whatever it could be. And I would say this is more about a human turnaround time. So, how much time do you take to get back to action after undergoing whatever you've undergone, good, bad? Mostly bad, because that is when you would require resilience to spring back. And the earlier one picks up this competency, I feel it is the better because nobody has the patience to wait for you to take your own time to recover and then come back because the world is moving at a very fast pace. Now, coming to your second question, were these problems faced by leaders earlier on? Yes, problems were faced by leaders earlier on, and then were those times more challenging in terms of being resilient as compared to today? No, it's like every time is challenging in its own way, and the problems which have sprung up to them in their time would have been mighty challenging, and they would have found it very difficult to handle it the first time. But as it moves on, as people got used to it, they responded better. So problems are different in different times, so people have handled them differently, and it just means that you have to understand how resilient you have to be to handle the problem today. I think we have lost Sonali.
Yeah,
So
sorry, I think.
this is what I would look at, resilience. Yeah, Sonali.
Um, well, as you both already said, that earlier times and this time also women did face challenges and they have overcome it. I remember one example of Anandi Gopal Rao Joshi. She is the first woman doctor of India, and it was the time when she lost her child. The child had fever and she was not able to decide whether it's very serious or not. And by the time the doctors came or the physician came, the child was dead or expired. After that, she was determined to become a doctor, and she went abroad alone in those times in 1880s, and it was a very tough thing, I believe. And all the society was not very open to the thought process at that time, that a lady doing all these things with support of her husband and family, she definitely uh, did that. She achieved the feat. So yes, we do have to spring back at times and prove ourselves. So coming to the next question, how to cope up with difficult times? Like, I would like to ask first Anita ma'am that how to cope up with difficult times. Is there any proven model which, as there is a certain basic path one needs to follow, any, or we need to restructure or structure it as per individual skills and circumstances? What do you say about this?
See, actually, I don't tell there's a proven path or something, but according to the level of resilience each one has, they can follow certain things. Like I would like to tell you with first one, have a sense of purpose in one's life. We should have that purpose. When we have that purpose, it will boost up us. When difficult days are there, we will know we'll be very much focused on that. Second thing is we should build positivity in ourselves about our abilities, right, which will help us to increase our self-esteem. The third one is how to develop. We need to see that how we develop a strong social network of people. We should be connected with them. Know where they support you and where you can confine in them what exactly you want to share with them. When you share, no, it decreases our sorrows and everything. This is what they tell. And then fourth one is embrace the change that is there. So that outlook should be there, that perspective should be there. How we can embrace that change. And then fifth is try to be more optimistic. No, you don't need to ignore your problems when I'm telling to be optimistic, but just understand the things are very temporary and everything will be normal again. So this optimism we should have. Sixth, which I tell, nurture yourself with healthy, with positive image, sleep well, eat well, and then exercise. Seven, I tell, develop your problem solving skills. This is very important. Now, you should develop the reasoning skills because through the strategies like making a list of potential ways where you can solve the problems, you have to analyze your problems, try to find out the root cause of the problems, and then establish reasonable goals for yourself with brainstorming solutions, what you can do, break down them into minute steps and see how you can handle and take action on them so that you'll be able to resolve those problems. And then when you keep working on your skills, and you should not be, when you work on these skills, you don't get discouraged. And then it also increases the level of resilience which you desire. So this is what I feel, Sonali, that we can do these things and then anyone can do. And then it can be resilience is something, it's a skill which can be cultivated in due course. We can nurture that. So this is what I feel we can handle it. Any person can handle this. Over to you, Kavita ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, so I really endorse all what Professor Anita has said. These are very important traits that she said we've got to build amongst ourselves. Now, in addition to this, there's something like which is more important. That is, you have to have confidence in yourself, which is a very important thing here. The moment we start slipping on that, that's when all the other problems start eating us up. So the moment, and see, it is not very easy. It's much, let's say, it's much easier said than done to have self confidence. There's a lot of effort which goes into building your own self confidence.
Very
And
true.
like they
Very true.
always say, the mind which is which is not clear, which is very, fluid, that is the one which catches the worst of the things. So always have confidence in yourself, address things instead of avoiding them. The
Yeah.
problem is that if you don't look at your problems, this has been my personal experience. If you don't handle problems which present themselves to you as small ones, they will come right back to you in a very big form, and at that time it becomes more difficult for you to, you have to spend more time handling it, and it becomes more difficult. So when you have to spring back, it takes that much more effort. So apart from this, I would say don't procrastinate anything. Whatever you have to do it at that time. Now, one thing that I have seen in my personal experiences, that when there is no proven model for anything, yes, you can pick from others' experiences, but for you, you will have to tailor make your own experiences with the fabric provided to you by others. So this has to be a constant endeavor of each one of us to see what we can take from others and how do we suit it to our requirement. And then, it would also depend on how the individual is made. All of us are not made same. So we have to see what works for us best. So what I would say is that we need to find out what we are, and like ma'am said, follow all those traits, see that we develop all those traits, and I think we will be able to spring back.
Yes.
Over to you, Sonali.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am, for this such wonderful insights. I completely agree with what you said, that there is no proven model, because each circumstances, each situation may be different. So here I remember a quote by Sri Abdul Kalam ji. He has said that don't look at success stories; it may give you only messages. Look at failure stories; it will give you success ideas. So,
Right.
yes, we can learn from others' failures too. That is also a very important thing. And one specific thing I want to read here, or rather say here, this is, I felt it's very beautiful when I read this. Jane Fonda, she's an American actress, an environmentalist, a fashion model, and all. So she has said that interview. She, sorry, I think there was some network trouble.
Yeah.
Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So I would like to quote her. She said that it's called resilience, and it is very mysterious thing. When I was first starting out, I'd go to the auditions and I knew so many girls. Half of them were more beautiful than me, and other half were very talented. But none of these women made so far, and I made it. I'd wonder, why did this happen for me and not for them? Now I think it had to do with that core resilience. I was born that way and they just weren't. On my bad days, I say to myself, Fonda, you are resilient and you've never stopped trying to get better. That's my mantra, and it saved me many times. So, exactly, I think what both of you were trying to explain us, and were trying to tell, that each one is unique and we should follow our own instincts and believe in ourselves. So, that confidence thing is definitely very important. Moving further, I would like to pose next question to Anita ma'am first. Is being resilient a must? Is it really must? Sometimes women do get stuck and feel helpless. We all do see that. How can they cope up with this, and what would you suggest? Is there anything in particular they must follow regularly?
Yes,
So,
Sonali
Anita,
ma'am. Yes.
yes.
Resilience is a must. But how to go about it, how to handle it? Yes, it starts with the core values. So no matter what challenge you're going through, no matter what difficult situation you are there, always have your core values. They guide your decisions. And maybe they got into, because of those values only, you might have got into your profession that you're doing, or they may guide your your mission that you wanted to accomplish it in future, right? That is the reason you're there. So you need to start writing down those list of those core values and letting yourself know what is the basis on which you stand, what is your firm ground, where it is. Check in and see what is that motivates you, what gets excited about. You need to think about it. And then how can I be more enthusiastic again? Where does my enthusiasm come from? So what motivates you to yeah, you is a great question that is that you need to know so that you can get energized and come back to normal. So all of us have knowledge, all of us have skills and abilities. But in doing something for others, we build a sense of efficacy. And then in our sense of resilience, our sense of values play an important role in that. And then we all want to feel that we are going to add value when doing more for others. When we are doing this way, when we are taking into account a value system, I think we can build the resilience that is there. So this is what I feel that we need to have in order to grow. We need to have this resilience, and this resilience, being resilient itself, practicing itself, makes us to grow more and more. This is what from my side.
Yes, very true. Very true. Yes, Kavita ma'am,
Yeah.
please.
I agree with Professor. Couldn't agree more. See, yes. Is it a must to be resilient? Yes, it is a must. It is preferable. And why is it preferable? I told you earlier also, nobody has the patience to wait and give you the time to spring back. That little time which you take extra to spring back is something that you have lost. So it is very, very important that one must spring back. Now, and another thing is, it's perfectly normal that somebody gets stuck. We're all human beings. We're going
Yes.
through juggling in I don't know how many roles, doing so many things. It is very, very normal that you get stuck and feel helpless. Now, at such times, I get reminded of something what we used to be taught at school. I don't know, Sonali, if you must be much later than my times, but we even then we always said that God helps those who help themselves. So there
That's
is
true.
something that has to start with yourself. Okay, so the point is you should want to spring back. That is an important aspect of the whole story. Now, with this, so what do you do when you get stuck? No, there are a couple of things which could help as fixes. So when you get stuck, I nowadays, I'll just digress just a minute. The thing is that there are a lot of parents who give their children, lot of time to get out of their depression, or they say that the child needs some time to cope with what he or she is going up. So in the beginning of the difficulty only, if one had spoken to the child, spoken to whether it's a young kid or a little older, that would have been something good. Okay, so if you feel that, even it applies to all of us, women also, men, it's a common requirement. That is, if you feel that you need to reach out, please reach out. This is a very important thing. If you're getting stuck, even under, if you're a professional or you're a non-professional, you're a housewife, whatever you are, whichever area you're doing such a wonderful job in, and you've got stuck, so reach out, because you speak to others, see what is that fix which works for you, because you would have gone through this before also. So you would know that, okay, if I go for a long walk or a long drive, it's okay with me. I will spring back. Or yes, there is one person to whom if I go and speak, I will be okay. That person's advice puts me on the track. So every time you get into this kind of a situation, there will be definitely something that you have done in the past. Try to just help yourself, remember that, and go on. So these things are very important. Don't just sit back. Just don't say I need some more time. That some more time is like quicksand, it'll keep pulling you back. So the best thing is, sorry, when you are feeling something difficult, or when you feel you're stuck, find what is that quick fix for you and keep moving, because you have to be moving. The moment you give yourself that respite, you're gone. You will go on to the negative direction. So it's better, find somebody, have friends, especially the working women. We say no, that we spend most of our time at work, so we have an extended family in work. In this family,
Yes.
find somebody who is going to be your, shoulder to lean on. So that kind of a person. So these things are something we must develop, because we need this extended support system for all of us to survive. There are too many things that we are doing at the same time. This is very important.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And you
I
can
think
go in,
very
like somebody is just saying that you can go into, see, going to a shrink was something which was a perfect no earlier, but today,
yes,
yes. There's nothing
yes,
wrong in going and taking the help of a psychologist. Absolutely
true,
nothing wrong.
true. I think yes, very very valid points you have mentioned, and somebody in I believe in the audience also mentioned that talking to people is like, it's a therapy. So it
Yes.
works as a therapy, and yes, believing in oneself, because as I read about Arunima Sinha, the one who was thrown out of train by thieves and then she lost her leg, and she was a player. So, on the bed itself, when she was in hospital, she decided she will climb Mount Everest. So, that was the self belief or confidence she had, or rather, she had decided. So, I think it definitely starts with what we think, and then how we take our steps ahead. Yes, certainly. Because everyone will face situations, and we will get stuck in some situation or the other at
That's
times.
true.
So it's very very necessary we find a way out. That is more
Yeah.
important. So कहते हैं कि हार नहीं माननी चाहिए हमें, और समस्याओं को खुद को हारने नहीं देना चाहिए. So let not problems defeat us. We must defeat the problems. Moving on to the next question. When low on resilience, any particular coping strategy or strategies would you like to suggest? Starting with Anita, ma'am, please.
Yeah. See, we know that life is not going to be so easy and it should not always be hard. So it's natural to have a tendency to try out and control many things. There may be things that you can control in life, but there may be things which you cannot control too. Now, developing resilience is a very personal process, and each of us act differently for different situations. Some bounce back very quickly, as Kavita ma'am was telling, right? While others tend to take a longer period of time. It should not be too long where they will lose the resilience. So there's no such magic formula when you no, feel low at resilience, but it will work out when you try to take up some things the way you have to deal with it. Like as Kavita ma'am said, you should have a good support system and have a positive relationships. Whenever you're feeling low, no, I try it in my life too. No, I try to interact with people whom I feel that I can share, I can confide, I take their suggestions, and then this is not the same with everyone we feel, but we feel confidence in few people with whom we can share it, and then they'll make us to come out of
Right.
it. That is very very important. First thing is we should be resilient enough. Yes, mentally we should be prepared for it. So that is very important, right? So we should have a good self image of ourselves, and have a positive attitude that you can handle anything that comes in your life. That positivity should be inculcated in your mind, and that only people who are very close to you can do it, and because they are the people who can influence you. You cannot get influenced by any other person. Like I saw just now one question, maybe Rawat ma'am was giving, how when students feel low, yes, how do you do that? Yes, during this pandemic time we were having some mentoring sessions to the students. Right. And during this mentoring session, when we were asking students, what is that? How is their life? No, when we are talking to them, some of them were having tears in their eyes. No, they were relaxed when I was speaking to them. They felt, ma'am, so nice of you to ask us how we are. And when I'm taking my classes also, when I hear that so and so person student is not well, I ask, how are you, ma? They write in the chat box, ma'am, thank you for asking that. No, it matters a lot for us.
Yes.
And
Yes.
especially during this pandemic situation, we feel that touch. We want that touch. No, that really matters for students because we are next mothers apart from their family. Yes, they look upon us, and actually they get more influenced by teachers rather than their parents. And some of the parents will always come back to teachers and tell, ma'am, he's not listening to us. If you tell, they will listen. No, so these are the
Yes.
things that no, during this particular age, they need that support. That support system should be very, very strong for them so that they can come out of it. So this is my take about resilience when we feel very low.
Right.
Kavita ma'am.
Yes. Thank. Kavita ma'am, please.
I would go by the same thing that, जिंदगी है एक सफर कब सुहाना कहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना. The point here is very clear that you will have problems thrown at you throughout your life. Everybody is not very lucky to have a good ride, a straight ride. It will be roller coaster. तो जब ऐसे होने ही वाला है, it's very very important that we should understand कि we have to have the support system in place. Especially for working women, you will find कि your bai is your support system, you're the fellow who supplies your food. When you don't feel like cooking is also your support system. The creche person where you leave the child, that is your support system. All these people are important in our lives. And then they have, in fact, no, both my children are past 20, and they are the ones, who have helped me see that things are good. Your in-laws actually are your support system. They are so important. At least children are with your in-laws and घर के लोगों के साथ है. So you have to have a support system, and it's very common that it's very common, and I underline common, that your family members need not be your confidants. You might have friends in whom you trust more, because there it is a easier way of communication. घर में किसी से बात करोगे तो you have a feeling कि पता नहीं क्या सोचेंगे. I don't know if I can talk these things to them, whether they'll understand me properly. But when you talk to your friends, that is the kind of support system you have to create. Maybe could be somebody with whom you're traveling every day, somebody with whom you're working every day. All these things are important. Now, when you're looking at this support system for yourself, imagine that you may be a support system for somebody else also.
True.
Okay, so this is
Yes.
an important thing. So we have to have our own quick fixes. कोई एक strategy एक जने के लिए काम कर सकता है, लेकिन it doesn't work for everybody. So let us develop that for
Yes.
ourselves, and all of us are smart enough to understand what is that thing that helps me get through a difficult situation. So that's how I look at it.
Yes, thank you, Anita ma'am and Kavita ma'am. Very nicely you said, and I think Kavita ma'am, as her hobby is listening to old Hindi songs, she quickly got the example of "Zindagi Ye Safar Hai Suhana, Kal Kya Ho Kisne Jana," and I think Bollywood has that knack, and they have a lot of
Yeah.
examples and movies and songs which depict our real life situations. How to overcome? Probably we can take a clue from there also, and many
Yeah.
many songs dedicated to
Yeah.
it. So yes, as you said correctly, that each one's situation may not be similar. However, if you have a good support system, it is very very important that you overcome from it, because now in pandemic time, I think this socializing thing has become a very great thing, because
Yeah.
earlier it was granted, it was taken for granted, but nowadays it is very difficult. And when we come online, we do face network issues, like I did face
Yeah.
today. I'm facing.
Yeah.
However, in real life, you can't run away at times. And I mean, when you meet friends in real, and they, of course, our family, friends, anybody can be the support system. We all know. So that should certainly be done. Moving to the next question: is being non-resilient a major drawback in growth? If yes, please suggest ways to become resilient.
Yes, Sonali ma'am. Yes, it'll be a drawback if you are not resilient, because when we try to develop resilience, it can help us to maintain caring relationship with others, and it helps us to maintain a positive and easy-going disposition. It can help you to come out of the situations. You'll be able to cope with the situations. You'll be able to improve your cognitive skills, which is very very important, because thinking skills, reasoning skills are very very important when you're facing any situation like no dissatisfaction or a trauma or a suffering. And then I would like to give you 7 C's, which will really be helpful in order to come out of this, or to develop a level of resilience. The first C, which I'll tell you, is competence. This is an ability to know how to handle the situations effectively. If you are having that competence, it gives you confidence automatically. So confidence will come only through your competence of knowing how to handle it. Then connection, as we are telling, a support system should be there. We need to have a connection, a close ties with family, friends, community. No, when you have that, it gives a secure feeling. some sense of belonging. That belongingness and that security feeling itself boosts the resilience. And then you have next C, which is character, where the individuals need to have the fundamental sense of right or wrong. Then only they'll be able to take the right decisions. Then they will know what are the responsible choices are there for themselves, for the family, for the society, so that they'll increase their or experience their self-worth. Next, contribution, a sense of purpose, which is a motivator. No, when you have that contribution nature, you'll be contributing for yourself, not only for yourself, people who are around you, for the organization where you're working, for the community where you're working. So it helps to develop positive relationship among others. Then see next one, coping. When people learn to cope with the stress effectively, they know how to handle the adversities and anything setbacks they face in their life. And the next C is last one, which is control. Developing an understanding of the control system. They tell there are two types of people. They tell when I teach my students, OB, internal locus control and external locus control. We should not tell external locus control are the people who tell it's all the other forces which is helping them not to, but be a internal locus control person. So you will know how to handle yourself rather than pushing on to some other people. So these 7 C's, if one try to focus on, no, they will be able to enhance or increase their level of resilience. This is my state. Over to you, Kavita ma'am.
Yes, Professor Anita has given the academia version. Now I will just use it for the industrial version, right? Now I've been in the manufacturing sector for almost 30 plus years. The point here is very clear. If you cannot be resilient, what is the message you're giving to those who report to you? Okay.
Yes.
It is very, very important to be resilient, because if you are not resilient, you lose out, you do not give the right signal to your employers that you are somebody who can take this organization forward. And being non-resilient also shows that they cannot give you important responsibilities, because if something goes wrong, you do not look at plan B, you get stuck at plan A only.
That's true.
Hello. Yeah. So
Hello.
all of us are
Yes.
are required to keep moving forward, ensuring that, if plan A doesn't work, plan B, plan C, plan D, you always have to find an escape route and a route to move forward. That is the requirement for working women. If it's not only working women, if you look at people in other, like whether even if you're a housewife, sabzi gets spoiled, you know that you have to add something else into that and make it edible for the kids to eat, otherwise it will be out of the into the dustbin. So that is how it is, you have to find a way out. So you have to be resilient. It is a must, because if you have to grow in an organization, people trust those who take less time to turn around, and they trust those who better don't get into that situation at all. They always know how to manage themselves and keep moving forward.
Yes, I think both of you said very, very valid points. And as you said that when we talk about backup plans, so everywhere we have that, we have fire exits in
Yes.
in offices or in theaters, and at home also. Very correctly said. If you're traveling somewhere, we will always have this in mind. What if the vehicle punctures? We'll do this. We'll do
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Many times I
Backup.
think yes, it may happen that unknowingly people are resilient, but they may not know that they have that quality of being resilient. That's what I can understand also from your
Actually, being a resilient boss builds a lot of confidence in your subordinates. They look
yes,
up to you. They know something goes wrong, ma'am will
absolutely,
have something else, some other way out. So that
yes,
is something that all of us have got to
yes,
develop.
it's a must quality for leadership, for a leader,
Yes.
because
Yes.
when
Yes.
you talk qualities of a leader, professionalism and stimulating people and motivating people, being resilient is also very, very important. And it's very nice to have academy as well as industrial, the AI factor over here. It's very nice to have these viewpoints. Okay, moving on to the next question. would love to know your personal experience of how being resilient in a particular situation helped you, or any such experience you are aware of.
Yeah, yes, each of us experience a situation where we have to be resilient and then where we have to come back to normal. Yes, I would like to know, instead of my personal experience, I would like to quote of my friend who was very close to me, and that she was sharing me recently,
Yes.
2 years back. She was working in a MNC company. She was working in that MNC company since 20 years. And then suddenly, situations, the climate in the organization, as Kavita ma'am knows, it's not easy working in an organization because you need to face many things. And especially when we are in a growing stage, no, we face too many things from the other people, because most of them, they don't like no, when we do something good. So this is what she was sharing. And then because of that situation, she need to come out of the organization, and then she was searching for a new job. But after 20 years, and then going out and searching for a new job was very, very
Yes.
difficult for her.
Yes.
She got adjusted to that culture. She was thinking that she is going to be there since very long period. But mind you, with her resilience, and then whatever she has faced, she again came back to the same organization. She was able to get adapted to that, convince the management, and then she was brought into routine things, and then she started excelling again. No, I feel that is what is the resilience that made her, the confidence levels in her, the commitment levels for that particular organization. Being so long in the organization, she did not want to leave the organization, and then she got adapted to the things and she came back. This is what, Sonali, the resilience, and especially women are more resilient than man, I can tell you. The patient
Okay.
levels, which will make them more resilient. This is my take.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing, ma'am, your experience. Kavita, ma'am, please, if you would like to share
Yeah.
some experience.
So the beginning of the pandemic of last year, like I said, I've just been in the L&D space for the last 3.5 years. That's when I'm concentrating more on L&D. So in the beginning, as soon as pandemic started, that was March, and April, we normally start our training activities and seeing how to go about how, because we are a vast organization. So being at the corporate, I was handling the corporate training role at that time. So it is very, you have to plan for the whole organization and see what you have to do. Now, you people who are already in the L&D sphere will know that you have to look at, how many man-days, what is the effectiveness, this, that, how are you going to launch the programs and all that. So it was like, we were just thinking, my God, April also went like that. What are we going to do? Because all other areas of HR, okay, they keep doing their work, but as far as training is concerned, it's more to do with people, and then you can't have classroom sessions. You're going to be in a different mode. Public sectors have by and large not gone into the online training, as not many have gone into that. So when we came back to work, like we have been working in office from April 27th of last year. We just had a 2 day break after that. Maybe May 4th, we went back to work. So we've been in office. So then
Right.
we immediately we did some brainstorming and we came around with a new HRD methodology, and we launched it in 1 month. We got an external platform to make people learn on that, mapped all our requirements on that. So it was 1 month of 1 or 2 months of seriously getting approvals. We have our own systems of getting approvals. So that was something, that turnaround was very important for us, because pandemic and organizational requirements, and it was a good experience for me. So that is one thing. It is more on official things. Personally, I think I've managed well.
Okay, that's really nice to know. When you say this, you've managed well, means it's never been easy. I believe so, because it's obviously many situations keep coming, and especially for working ladies,
Yes.
there are times when you have to handle personal and professional front. So when you say it very humbly, I managed well, means that itself proves that you have been so resilient at times, and it's a very very good example both of you have given. Thank you so much. Before we move forward, I would just like to thank our audience, Scott Leader Dimple Rawat and Anjali ji, Dr. Shreya, everyone giving their comments. Thank you so much. So, just before like we wind up, any particular message you would like to give to the audience? since our topic is like
Yes.
resilient women in the current times. Anita ma'am, please.
Yes. See, as Sonali ma'am, we know that we are living in a VUCA world, which is very volatile, uncertain, complex, and then ambiguous. So, as the world continues to be present in the new adversities and challenges, we need to master resilience and possess a growth mindset. And then it will not only help us to cope and withstand stress and uncertainty, but allow us to grow because there are many opportunities are there. We should learn and then grow. So I wish that people know where they can remember 4 hours before we go, reboot themselves, respond to the environment, have positive relationships, and have a reasoning mindset. No, all these things will help to have a real level of good resilience in them. So this is what good luck and stay safe and healthy in whatever difficult period is there. Have a good mindset that they can come out of it. This is what is my say.
Yeah. To
Kavita ma'am.
add to Professor Anita, I would say that very often, if we say a woman is resilient, it is construed that it is that she's very tough. It is not so. So the point is that remember that yes, you're resilient. You may be tough, but then you're tough for a particular, issue. So please
She's
go ahead and be tough, but also remember that you were made by the Creator to be soft too. Okay,
yes,
so use that softer side of yours, help people, be empathetical to the people who are around you. I guess a lot of people here are from the HR fraternity. I would only say that remember that there is something called human, something called relations in your profession. That is very important. In the bargain of trying to be resilient, trying to be tough, we should not forget that there is somebody out there who requires us too. And
true.
if you allow yourself to be a person to whom somebody will come and speak their mind out, say that they have a problem and they open up to you, then lot of issues get sorted out there itself and the person will feel much better and wanted in the organization. Your productivity will improve. Today, I find that HR people are very busy doing other things than actually reaching out to people. So, it is a good idea to give people the confidence that you are there to help them. Yes, we have to do our job. There's no two ways about it. If you have to sack somebody, you have to sack somebody. But at least sugarcoat the sacking and make the experience a better one.
Okay.
And okay, there is a book which I read recently. This is written by my friend, The Professional Woman's Handbook. Aparna Devgiri has written that. So I I went through that book. It is very nice and it brings out everything very clearly on what kinds of problems we face. Like I know her for the last 30 years. She's also joined Bell. When I joined, she left and went out. She went out for greener pastures. She enjoyed doing whatever she was doing and then she has written this book. But lot of the problems brought out in this book are those which we have all faced. So that is why I feel that let us, this is a good workbook which we can look at and we can see and start working on it. You will find that lot of problems that each one of us face are common to everybody. There is nothing new.
Very
So
true.
this is what I like to say. Be good human beings to people around you, and let's all, make life easier for each other.
Very true. I think talking to you both, this topic has become so interesting. It has moved from the barriers of questions, because it's okay to ask certain questions, but if it comes to discussion, you have such a big storage. I believe that it's like that magic pot is there. No magicians, the water never ends. So
Yeah.
something like that. You people can keep talking and keep advising us. It's a pleasure always. So before just winding up, I would like to highlight few points which was said by both of you. So Anita ma'am, as she mentioned, that there should not be any loss of enthusiasm and always have a sense of purpose in whatever you do. There should be a sense of purpose. Embrace change, because yes, change is the only permanent thing. So you should keep a track of that and keep moving ahead, keep changing. Be optimistic, and focus on your core values, interact with people, as she has said. Then she gave us the 7 C's, ideas of 7 C's. And these are not the Sat Samundar wale C's. These are the beautiful C's. And I remember in communication also we have these C's, like correctness and conscious, concise writing and all that. Yes. So many 7 C's we have in communication. So similarly, she gave competency, connection, character, building, contribution, coping up, control. And as far as the message goes, she has mentioned that always remain positive, cope up with your situation, and keep growing. That is, keep moving ahead. That is a very beautiful message she has given. Thank you so much, ma'am. And moving on to Kavita, ma'am. Yes, moving on to Kavita, ma'am. She has mentioned many things, that she believes that to spring back is the whole core thing, or rather very important, that whichever situation you are in, you may fall, but you must spring back. And you should have confidence in you always. Do not procrastinate, because yes, keep you if you keep delaying things, it is said in procrastination that if there is a frog, you should eat the big ugly frog first. If there are two frogs on the table, you should eat the big ugliest one first, and that's how you will be able to do the your things faster and in a better way. So everything, your time management, your way you deal with people, everything comes in it. And yes, she said a very important point, that learn from others. Learning is a continuous process, even I believe so. Each moment, each person you can learn from. So it's a beautiful thing. And if you are in trouble, you should reach out, give a call, give a shout out that yes, I need some advice, whoever you feel, because each person in heart, he or she knows that whom they are close to, or whom they can share that particular problem. So yes, very beautiful point she has put across. And having a backup plan, that if the bread is spoiled, roti should be made, or if the roti is spoiled, uh, what you should come up with some rice, whatever. I mean, talking on a broader aspect, when we talk on day-to-day life, there should be a backup plan for our goals also. Yes, certainly. Then she gave this message to everyone, that be resilient, be tough. Certainly, because when women leaders, we talk of women leaders, if it's, I think it's an extreme, that if they are soft, they will be taken for granted. If they are tough, so then she's too tough. So I mean, it's sometimes very difficult. But yes, she brought out a very beautiful point, that हम कठोर भी है, हम कोमल भी है. So we are both tough as well as soft. So that humanity aspect, being empathy, having empathy, or being an empathetic person, will help you a lot, because people will approach you. You will be reachable to people, and it will be a very good thing as a leader, as a boss. That as it, your team will be a very good one. It will be a strong team. So I think this was a very beautiful combination, that we had one academic perspective and one industry perspective, and that too with such beautiful, I mean, so many years of vast experience. So it's very precious and valuable for us. So thank you so much, ma'am, and it was an absolute pleasure to have you here. Just before handing over to Shefali, I would like to say something. गिर गया तो क्या हुआ, गिर गया तो क्या हुआ, गिरता वही जो चलता है, गिरता वही जो चलता है, बस इतना ही करना है, उठकर फिर से चलना है, बस इतना ही करना है, उठकर फिर से चलना है. Thank you.
Very nice.
Very nice.
I think that's a great session, Sonali. We could not have chosen a better moderator for this session. And of course, this is the launch of the South chapter, as we mentioned in the beginning. Thank you so much for moderating it so well. And yes, these speakers were, as expected, more than expectations. We got the amazing answers from them. And I feel somehow the topic is so beautiful that,
Yes.
1 hour is very less, and we were bad at keeping the session for only 1 hour. And our topic, something as resilience, and that too, 3 beautiful women talking about it. the discussions can go on and on and on, and I can see so many comments in the chat box. People really enjoying the session, flushing the comment box with so many comments, compliments for Kavita ma'am, for Professor Anita, for Sonali, for the topic, everything. So I think it was a wonderful choice for today's topic session, the experts who were there. And yes, I also had a lot of takeaways for me. As you three rightly said, we should have that circle of influence, that locus of control. We should keep talking to people. That is what message we also keep giving to people, that keep talking, keep communicating. This is what all social media platform has been, spreading the message all across. And that is what you also spoke, the discussion was revolving around it. And from student perspective, from academia perspective, from industry perspective, yes, it was a wonderful session, and a lot of knowledge we gained, a lot of things. That's 7C concept was amazing for us. So what I can say at the end of the at the closure of the session, thank you so much for coming at the platform. I understand that these are
Thank you, ma'am.
challenging times, tough times for all of us, and still you could make out for doing this session, having a grand launch of South chapter of Women with Wings. Thank you so much once again, and looking forward to meet you once again very soon.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you, Shefali
Shefali.
ma'am.
Shefali,
And then,
you had a international viewer who wanted to know where they could get that book from. You can just take her email and pass it on to me. I will pass it on to Aparna so she can correspond. Right?
Sure, that Pac-Man is a strong follower of Women with Wings from last couple of sessions, and I think he
Very
only
good.
inquired. So I'll take his email
Yeah.
ID and I'll
Yeah.
share it across with you. Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank you
so
very
much,
much
and
for
thank you,
giving us
Shefali
such a
ma'am.
good
Sonali ma'am,
experience.
thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
It was
very
a good
much.
experience. Thank you,
Monica,
ma'am.
ma'am, and
Yeah.
Shefali. Thank you so much.
And I wish your organization flourishes and reaches out to more and more people. Thank
Yeah.
you.
thank you so much.
Thank
All
you.
the best,
Thank
Shefali
you.
ma'am, for
All
launching
the
the
best.
southern region.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.